Welcome to Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, relationships, and mental health. Our co-hosts are Imani Warren and Dr. Delvena Thomas. Now introducing our host, Nicky Says YOLO, Nicky Gelin.
Hey, happy Hump Wednesday. Happy Hump Wednesday, y'all. Hope you're having a great Hump Wednesday. I think we're going down the hill. The weekend is almost here. So I hope you're having a great week so far. Now, I'm Nicky Says You Only Live Once, and welcome to another episode of MIA Magazine Presents. So we have a really fun, packed show tonight. Our featured guest, she is the executive director of the African American Research Library. We'll be talking about the 50th hip hop anniversary that's taking place this year, 2023. Now, before we speak to Tameka, I'm going to pass it over to my first co-host. She's our board certified psychiatrist and also the founder of the Brain Love podcast. So Dr. Delvena, also known as Dr. Alma, what are we talking about tonight?
Hey, Nikki. Are you ready to take the couch?
I am ready, and I need my own mug as well.
I got you on the mug. So listen, I give you a mental health tip every week. Today, the mental health tip is for folks to support men's health. We have been talking about men's health. I've spoken about it previously. We had an event in June 26th, we were at the YMCA in historic Sistrunk. MIA Media was one of our sponsors, and we're bringing it back because it was so powerful. There is a part 2 that's going down Monday, July 24th at the same place in the same space, and you can tell we added a couple of more people to this panel. Dexter Bridgman, we all know Dexter and love Dexter. Dr. Alex Lanou has been added to the panel. And of course, Gordon Eric Knowles is our powerful moderator. So this is a men's panel that is going to be, there will be less of a show. The event in June was a show. This is going to be the panel. We're jumping right to the panel, and we'll have an hour for the audience to ask questions and for our panelists to deliver the answers. So I hope people will come out and support. This is for the Brain Love Foundation. And if you're wondering, what is Brain Love? Brain Love is actually an acronym, and BRAIN, I'll give you that half of it as your mental health tip this week. B stands for balance. You got to have balance in life. Can't be all work and no play, and can't be all play and no work. R is for reframe. Reframe those bad situations. A is avoid negative people. I is inside. Everything you need is inside of you. And N is needs. Put your needs first. And that's all I have for you, Nikki. Say Brain Love.
Brain Love, no, but I have a question about the first one.
Sure.
How was it? How was the turnout? How was the feedback with the first?
Oh, we sold out. It was a great event. Hot 105 was there with us. Rodney Baltimore came in. He was there in the beginning. It started with a happy hour that was from 6 to 7-ish. We went into the theater at 7, and it started with Salsa African Dance Group. They did some African dancing and drumming. We had a featured speaker, Gene Titus from Titus Unlimited, and then we went into the panel discussion. And let me tell you, these men were really just sharing and being very dynamic, and people weren't agreeing with one another just to agree. We had some disagreements up there on that stage, and this is why we're bringing it back.
That's healthy. It was a cliffhanger, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, Dr. Delvena, thank you so much. Brain Love, and we'll see you in the next show.
Absolutely. See ya.
Now on to our featured guest for tonight. So the 11th annual South Florida Book Festival is back. It's called Word, celebrating 50 years of hip hop culture. Now our guest tonight is none other than Tameka Bradley Hobbs, Dr. Tameka Bradley Hobbs. She's the executive director of the African American Research Library. So Dr. Hobbs, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. Happy Hump Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
How are you keeping cool in this heat? Because
my strategy, you leave my air-conditioned house, get into my air-conditioned car, leave my air-conditioned car, get into my air-conditioned office, and then reverse the process going home.
You be
very
running
little side of time outside.
No, I hear you. Like, I think I'm running out of sunscreen because it's like it's ridiculous.
It
So,
is. It's one for the record books for sure.
right. Well, thanks for being our guest tonight. So we are celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Like, hip hop has been so instrumental in so many cultures as far as the music, the culture, the fashion, everything. So let's get right into it. So again, it's 50 years of hip hop. So why is this so important to the 11th annual South Florida Book Festival?
Well, so this is my first book festival. I just started in this role last November, but this program is a signature program here at ARLIC, that's our acronym, is in its 11th year. And each year we pick a different theme that we want to uplift. But my staff came to me in December when we started planning and said, hey, next year is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Do we want to build on that? And I was like, absolutely, yes. I'm a proud member of the hip hop generation, one of many iterations of the generations, and this has been a labor of love for me. Just our way, our spin of contributing to the celebration of the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So tell us more about Word celebrating 50 years of hip hop culture going down this weekend.
Yeah, we kick off tomorrow. I'm super excited. We begin this with what we're calling our hip hop hooray celebration. Got to do it for the kids. Arlic love the kids. So we know too that these kids are, grew up with hip hop being as global and as powerful as it is. But it's always important to be intentional about teaching them about the roots of the culture, the history, and the elements. And so tomorrow morning, we'll have 300 summer campers and kids from the public who will hear from Kwame Alexander. He is a New York Times best-selling author. His most popular book, The Crossover, has been turned into a Disney series. So he'll be here talking to the kids. And then immediately after that, the kids are going to get some hands-on experience with some of the different elements of hip hop. We have art classes from the Museum of Graffiti, which has been one of our partners for all of this. They're going to be able to take not only hip hop, but house music dance classes. That's what I'm going to be tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Those are with Rennie Harris University, and Rennie Harris is legendary in terms of putting hip hop dance on the map. So we're really grateful for their role. And DJing is another really important part of the culture. We have Girls Make Beats who will be giving demonstrations and DJing and production for the kids on tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, we get into our performing arts piece. We have a wonderful group, the Olajimi Dance Theater, who will be here with their show. Bear with me. The full name is Transnational Dance Works and Other Practices that Evoke Revolutionary Kinship. Around here, we just call it twerk for short. So really excited about that. That starts at 6:30. Everything that I've just told you about tomorrow is sold out. So I will say for the kids, we do have a repeat of both the Girls Make Beats. The Girls Make Beat classes, parents can come and bring them out in the morning. And then for the kids on Saturday, we have Frank Morrison. He is a former graffiti artist and hip hop dancer himself, who has turned into an illustrator of children's book and a children's book author. And so kids can come out on Saturday for that. Also Friday night, we have our major reception. It's a fundraiser to help us keep our major programs free and open to the public. Eat, Drink, Read, the Kicks and Sips edition. So people are invited to wear their best hip hop dress, so their fly sneakers, come out. We have Chef Chad Cherry. We have Nola bartending services. We got signature cocktails, signature menu, but it's the entertainment. We have invited DJ Demp, who is legendary as a DJ for South Florida hip hop, as well as Jam Pony Express DJs. Now, for people of a certain generation here in Florida, that is really special. Some of the first hip hop that I heard was Jam Pony Express DJ. They have a very distinct MCing style. And so they're going to be here live in the house on Friday night. And Saturday is amazing. We're so excited to have Rico Love, who is the chair of the Black Music Collective for the Recording Academy. And he's bringing in none other than Ted Lucas, the founder of Records. And of course, now Ted is doing technology, which is amazing. But they're going to have a session called South Florida Got Something to Say, looking at the history and the future of hip hop in South Florida. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation. And Jill Tracy from Hot 105 is going to be a moderator now. So we're going to have a really good time. That's just some of what we have going on Saturday, but a little something for everybody.
Yeah, this is huge. This is like epic. Wow. This is exciting. So Dr. Hobbs, hold that thought to our audience. We'll be right back after this message.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
All right, welcome back, Dr. Hobbs. Now, we spoke about twerking earlier, or there's a program focused on twerk. And I want to say it's a journey that explores movement, stories, traditions, sounds, and rhythms of West and Central Africa.
Correct.
And that is the meaning, or where it actually derived from.
Yeah, I think some people may be expecting a twerk competition. That is not happening at Arlick. I just want to be clear. This is something very, very different that is historical, educational in nature. But it's important, right? I think that, I know for me growing up, as a youngster with hip hop music at a younger time, there still was, Uncle Luke on the scene. There's a Baby Got Back, right? That came out. It wasn't until much later at FAMU in Tallahassee, I started taking African dance class, and you see this kinship in the hip movement. It's always been with us. I think the way that we understand it, the context has changed, but there is something very familiar. There is a continuity there, and that's what I love so much about what Olajimi Dance Theater is going to do, is that they're going to put on stage for us this history lesson about African dance, about this kinetic hip movement that has been a part of who we are for a really long time. And we're planning to talk back after the session on Thursday, so that
it's going to be a really dive in. Yeah. Do you feel that the meaning has been exploited in modern times, especially after the whole Essence Festival and Meg Thee Stallion controversy, as far as twerking?
For sure. I think, what has happened with us over our history, and particularly for Black women during the period of enslavement, we were brutalized. We were raped. We had no control to be able to stop that. The fact of slavery was carried through our bodies. Our children were commodified. And so rape and sexual abuse were very much a part of what we were doing. But part of the construction, the way that people talked about that, is that they blamed the victim. Black women have borne the burden of hypersexuality, because of the things that have happened to us. And so that's caused a lot of tension in our community in terms of the way that we've been labeled, our efforts to try to refute those labels in respectability politics is what we call it, right? That we all need to be upright and have these purity tests that we stand by, but it doesn't allow for individual expression. It doesn't allow for healthy sexual expression and sexuality. And I think that that's the tension that you've seen coming out of the Essence Festival. Is that we are still fighting these battles around what is appropriate for us to say, appropriate ways for us to be, appropriate ways for us to express. And then, all that is caught up with patriarchy as well, that, no one wants to see. People are very uncomfortable with expressions of female sexuality, but that is not African at all. I think the one thing I learned in African dance is that there's a very clear understanding of how natural sex is as a part of reproduction, as a part of marriage structure. There's flirtation. They understand that there's an energy flow that happens between men and women. And you see all of that happening in the dance and with the drumming. And that's something that I think that we ought to study more, understand more, connect to more. It would bring a lot of healing to the conversations that we're having these days.
That is so phenomenal. Like I had no idea that that's what twerk meant, because I was so caught up in like the modern day meaning of twerk with the whole pop culture and everything. So I think this is so like informative and really educational, especially to our Gen Z Black young girls and women. So this is a great program, I think, especially after what happened, and especially given what we see on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. Like, this is a great topic to have because there's different ways that we can showcase our art, and I do want to say that I'm really big on Instagram, and there's this one artist that posted an image of a Barbie doll with locks, with dreadlocks. She had on like a little bikini top, a little mini skirt, and she was bent over. So I commented and I said, well, her locks are beautiful, but why she got to be bent over? There's other ways you can showcase Barbie, a Black Barbie with locks. And there was this whole big thing about, well, we're trying to showcase her locks. And I was like, yeah, but why can't we show her doing ballet or playing the violin? Or there's other ways that we can show us in a different light than twerk culture. So This is really great that you have in this program.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of conversations to be had, and there are a lot of difficult conversations to be had within hip hop culture, especially around women, depictions of women, video vixens. I kind of go through that era, and it's still, you get the sense that women are still fighting for space to not be sexualized and still have a level of popular acclaim. It's tough, but we have to understand the roots of all of this and understand who we are. And I think there's room for everyone. I won't yuck your yum.
Right.
We do have to be concerned about age appropriateness. But I think there's there's many different flavors. That's
many flavors of variations. So which hip hop artist do you feel made the most impact culturally?
Oh, it's such a hard question. I'll take it and make it personal. I will have to say that after watching his documentary, Jay Dilla, I knew a little bit of his music, but when I understood who he had produced for and who he'd worked with and the sound elements that had come from him, I am definitely a Dilla head for real. So I'll give respect to Jay Dilla.
Okay, you know what? If I could be honest with you, I have to Google Jay Dilla because I'm like a 90s, 2000s hip hop. So when you say Jay Dilla, I'm like, okay, I have to
So Jay Dilla was involved with the Soulquarians. I would advise you to watch the documentary. There's so many good documentaries that are out now on hip hop figures and the history of hip hop. Even though I've grown up in it, it was really educational to be able to watch. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to bring forward with the book festival, that if you go deeper than just the music and go beyond the lyrics, there are some really powerful stories and some really powerful artistry that is behind hip hop that it's high time that we began to appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. Now, which poet do you feel left the most impact and was influenced by hip hop?
My take on that question is to reverse it. I think that when I look at hip hop has real influences from the last poets who kind of came out of the Black arts movement. I think of Gil Scott-Heron, even Maya Angelou. Her works and her words show up in hip hop time and time again. So I think that there is this really amazing conversation between the decades of the 50s, 60s, and 70s and what we see in hip hop music. And we actually have a session that'll talk about that. DJ Tillery James and DJ LS1 on Saturday afternoon are doing a session called The Funky Drummer. We titled it that because The Funky Drummer by James Brown is the most sampled song in hip hop. And we want to draw attention to the way that hip hop today continues to pay homage to this music for previous generations. So there's a lot there, a lot of linkages.
Yeah, that's great. There's three major artists that definitely I feel like they're really poetic in their lyrics. It's Talib Kweli, Mos Def, and I would say in modern times is Kendrick Lamar. I feel like Kendrick is like,
So for me, I think between Kendrick Lamar and D Smoke is another one that I'm watching, both off the West Coast. They stand at the top of storytelling in modern hip hop. I think that there have been Kendrick Lamar songs that have brought me to tears, the way that he's telling those stories. So I agree with you on that one.
Awesome. All right, y'all. So keep it locked. We'll be right back after these messages.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
All right. So, Dr. Hobbs, how can we find more information and get details and purchase tickets, all that good stuff?
Sure. I would encourage people to use the phrase "to run, not walk" to soulflowbookfest.broward.org. We're sold out on tomorrow. We're sold out Friday night, and the sessions are quickly filling up on Saturday for our main stage. So again, soulflowbookfest.broward.org is your one-stop shop for information about what's coming up.
And again, it's at the African American Research Library. So that's another
Research Library and Cultural Center, ARLIC for short, over on Sister Boulevard and 27th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. And there should please pay attention. There's a whole slate of panels and local authors who are there. They were kind of late additions to the lineup, but they're going to be there as well. So we'll be getting some more information out about that. So it's more than just what you see. Everybody should look at the complete program schedule to understand everything that's happening.
Awesome. Phenomenal. Super exciting. So we're going to get into our MIA So talk. They're really short, fun questions. That's it. So who is your all-time favorite hip hop artist?
Tribe Called Quest. It's a group.
Yes. That's a good one. Okay. All-time best hip hop movie.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Juice? Does Juice qualify? I guess Tupac makes Juice qualify. Yes.
I think that qualifies. You know, I guess for me, I would say, does Poetic Justice qualify?
Tupac, again, we can check the Tupac box.
We can. Okay. So what would you tell your younger self, and at what age would you be telling yourself this to?
About hip hop music?
No, just what kind of message, or as you reflect as you got older, what would you tell your younger self at maybe 10 or 12 or 18 as you reflect now being in the space that you're at right now?
I would say just keep at it, and have fun. I would go back to high school. I think I was like putting way too much pressure on myself. I would definitely lean into the fun in high school.
Yeah, it's never too late. You can have fun right now, and you got some wisdom added to it. So
for sure. Okay. And I'm looking forward. This week, these next 3 days are going to be absolutely fun for me. It's great for the public. It's on mission for my job, but this is completely personal. I'm going to have a great time.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Super exciting. And I think the important part of this program, it's for the kids and the youth. You know, it's going to educate them and teach them and to show them a different outlook on what hip hop is. Because with the Gen Z, I'm a millennial. So with the Gen Zs, I think hip hop is a little different to like the 80s, 90s, 2000s.
And, I'm Generation X. And so when I was coming along, the hip hop that I love is party hip hop. It's fun hip hop. It didn't take itself so seriously. We poke fun at ourselves. I think about Far Side and Tribe and Leaders of the New School. We've kind of lost that. There was even a level of consciousness and Afrocentrism that was a part of it. I'm grateful I've been able to share that with my kids. My kids love old school hip hop. They love all hip hop. And so I think there is a multi-generational conversation that can be had with hip hop. I was able to pass my love for hip hop on to my children. I'd love to be able to have more people have that experience. And it's not just the young people, it's the elders as well. I think the elders need a reintroduction to hip hop.
Being nostalgic for them.
Yeah. I mean, you think these young kids are just coming around scratching on records, but no, it's a global impact. It's major business, and it has a story to tell. There are real stories, real powerful stories that are part of this culture.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Hobbs, thank you so much, and we'll see you this weekend. We know you're super busy preparing, so we'll see you this weekend. Thanks again.
I look forward to having you here.
Thank you. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of MIA Magazine Presents Soul. And we'll see you on another episode. Have a good night.
To celebrate 50 years of hip-hop culture at the South Florida Book Festival presented by Visit Florida at the African American Research Library and Cultural Center in Broward County, July 13th through the 15th. Word features authors like Kevin Powell, Kwame Alexander, and the Florida hip-hop influencers Ted Lucas, DJ Dim, and Jam Pony Express DJs. For more information, go to soulflowbookfest.com.